Good morning, Nilpam.
Good morning, Razdeep.
Good morning, Nego. Good morning, Pranam, Manali.
Guruji, that Mahashivratri chanting Om Namah Shiva meditation was very, very good. Very, very nice. It felt very nice.
Yes, because that was one of the most high energy night. So it was, any meditation will take you like a very high level. So, and chanting helps you to, invoke that energy. That was been, actually that was recorded last year, but it is applicable for any Shivratri. You can do that.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam, Hari Om. I have posted some affirmations in the group. We will read it during the session. We'll read it, but the content I have already posted into the group just now. So I will refer to that. So into that and others. And if someone who cannot, read it through that, I'll be reading it, so you can follow after me. But after that, when you practice alone, so that you can read it on your own. So I have already posted into the group, so you can refer it later on. The content for invoking that self-love, there is some affirmations. All right, I think it is 8:10 in India now.
Guruji, Pranam.
Pranam, Hanif. So we'll start our session now. So today's topic is awakening self-love. And I will first explain what is self-love, and then we'll go into how to awaken the self-love, because I'm getting this question offline. Many of our members are asking that how to experience self-love, or how I can initiate self-love and things like that. So because I referred self-love in many other sessions, that this certain things you are facing because you have absence of self-love. Many of our so-called suffering and negative experiences, it happens because of absence of our self-love. It is nothing to do with the outside, what is happening. Outside events and situations we cannot control. And it is said that you cannot control the pain, but you can control the suffering. Suffering is a choice. Suffering means keep on repeating it in your mind. Some negative experience happened. It's a painful experience happens, and you keep repeating in your mind and feel that experience again and again. That is called suffering. So those, we suffer more if our self-love is less. Or you can say the people are taking advantage of me. People are not taking advantage of you. Your own self, love is less. So that's why your vibration is lower. That's why you attract those things to you. I'm just giving the complete understanding of it. We are responsible for everything happening in our life, including something we don't want consciously. We attract with our own vibration, with our own level of from where we are operating from. If we keep our if we go on, say, holidays for 1 month, keeping our door open, then don't blame the thief that why he has stolen things from your home, because you make it open for anybody to steal that. Or you left your mobile on a dining chair of a food court and then you don't get it. So don't blame who has taken the mobile, because you left it there. So it is vulnerable to open. I'm just giving some example so that you understand what I mean, that you are vulnerable for this kind of negative experiences because you keep yourself vulnerable. Okay. Same experience, same event, 5 people experience in 5 different ways. What is the difference? Difference in their frequency. And different is with their self-love. Self-love is not an ego. Okay, so this is the first thing we need to learn. See, ego is all about feeling good about some achievement, about some possession. You have some better clothes than your better clothes than show your relatives, or you have a better car you are showing to your neighbor. It is not about that. You feel good about something, or you win a prize in the competition and you are boasting about it. Your child has ranked first in the class, so there you're telling to everybody that my child become first. It is not about that. Okay, it is not about feeling good. It is the ego that is getting credit of something of outside, which came from outside. And everything you get from outside, you have no absolute control. It may or may not happen. If it doesn't happen that way, you have no control. So same thing, if you lose something, you feel sad and you think you are you lost in the game of life. It is not. Okay. It is all external thing. It will come and go. It's like a wave. If something has started, it will end also, even your life. So it is only about come into the flow of life, just experience, and that's it. So for that, how to make your own experience to you, but from nobody else. It is not about how many people praised me. It doesn't matter. Even how many people blamed me, it doesn't matter. You have to only be truthful to yourself. You have to give your best, and that's it. If you need a competition, you should be better version of yourself what you were yesterday. That is the competition. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter. Okay. In fact, whatever you are looking for in life, I mean the position, the external things, name, fame, power, and everything. Just check who got it. Is that person is enjoying life 100%? They are all full of joy and happy, dancing on the street. No, they are more scared of losing them. They are keeping Z level of security to protect themselves. So what? They are also not enjoying that wealth. They are in a fear of losing them. See, it is not. So your experience didn't change, even become worse. Okay, but anyway, I'm not saying the wealth is bad. And don't get me wrong. We are on the path of householder spirituality, and our aim is Aishwaryavan Muktatma. enlightened billionaire. Okay, so I am not discouraging and promoting beggar mentality. You should be a beggar, then you become a spiritual. No, absolutely not. You have to earn wealth and enjoy it. I'm I'm just passing on the teaching I got from the masters, that to enjoy life, you need to love yourself first. It cannot happen only by ego. That is the one. And when you love yourself, it doesn't matter what you have and what you don't have. That is the point I'm making. It is not about your position, your social status, or your designation. It doesn't matter. It's all about how much you love yourself. I will explain that, what they mean by that. So up to this point, it should be, I just wanted to make it clear that it is nothing to do with the ego. Self-love doesn't mean you are self-interested, mean-minded person. You have to ditch others. I'm not saying that. Okay. Self-love means it is without any comparison to anyone. It is with you. Okay, you are loving yourself, because most of the issues we face, you see that some people are in abusive relationships, some people, they frequently got cheated and all those things. Fundamentally, those are because they make themselves vulnerable. That's what I have given an example of. If you keep your door open and go on holidays, or you leave your mobile on a food court or something, then somebody will take it. It is available, so why not? So no need to blame them. So same here. If you are self-content, vibrating in the high level, you love yourself, then your experience of your life will change. Okay, so there was some good story. It comes, I will come back to that, about the happiness and feeling joy part of it. The story is simple, that somebody was saying one guy has come and he is searching something around the lamppost. And say, what you are searching? The another passerby came, and what you are searching? Was, I left one coin. So I was, okay, let me help you. So he also, started searching coin, and after 1 hour they didn't get both of them. Then the passerby asked him, the first person who lost that coin, he said, where you left that coin? Where you lost it? He said, I lost it in my home. I said, lost it in my home? Then why you are searching in the lamp, below the lamppost? He said, here there is a light, I can see, so that's why. He said, how stupid! You lost it in your home. You should search there. Well, there is a darkness, there is no light there. So I found where the light is, and then I'm searching there. And so then he just he wasted his 1 hour time. He said, you are worthless and stupid fellow. He left. So the moral of the story is, if first you find out your happiness or joy is lost where? You lost within your mind. Within yourself, you lost the peace of mind. So why you are searching outside to replenish it? You have to go inside and work on that. Here, you have to bring light in the house to find out where you lost it. No? You cannot go to the street to find out where it is. So this is the fundamental difference. All of us, we do. We think something external will happen and will make me happy. Maybe for shorter period. Something else will pop up and that will go. Like a balloon, you put a pin and that then go boom. So it is a temporary experience because you are dependent on outside. What I am teaching now, what you can do, which will not change your state of mind. Because if you connect something to outside, it is dependent on the mercy of the outside events. And that is what we say, that don't give control to others to control you. Only yourself. And if you can give that power to your higher self. Now I'm coming to the point of today's topic. If you give that power to your own higher self, establish contact with your own higher self, soul consciousness, you will be always in the joy. Happiness is the state of mind. Joy is a state of your soul consciousness. Okay. So, from where the soul will get the joy? Soul is always in the joy because human being is a manifestation of love. It is all the time. It is connected to the ocean of life, infinite ocean of love. I think many a session I told the human being are called Prema Sarupa. It is a manifestation of love energy that created human being. By the way, this love is none of the love we normally use. Okay. I love my spouse, I love my children, I love my mother, I love ice cream, I love cricket, I love Saj Bhi Kabhi Bahut Hi. None of this. Okay. It is in absence of all the emotions. When you drop all the external emotions, you go to the pure form. When you erase with a duster everything on this, say, board, that, say, blackboard, then the background, clean board will come up. That is pure love, not the content. Okay, when all the colors are removed from a canvas, that pure canvas is pure love. When you fall back to, when you go back, original, that is the pure love, the background of everything, all your experiences, because you are made of that. How can it be something else? In the spiritual level, originally, we have been created with the love energy and the light of awareness, these two. Okay, so human being and created out of pure love energy. So when we connect, so understand how we get it there. If we forget about external things, just connect with your own higher self. Higher self is connected to the universal consciousness. That's what I was mentioning about connected to the infinite ocean of pure love. What you need to do only to connect with your higher self, soul consciousness. That's it. You'll be overwhelmed, overflowing with love. And the love will be oozing out of every cell of your body. It is not to whom to love. There is no one. You are full of love. It is like, I give an example of a sunlight. Sun gives light. It doesn't matter to whom it gives. It gives because of its own nature. Unconditionally, it emits light. A blade of grass, a big tree in the forest, they get equal sunlight. There is no differentiation. The big tree will get violet light and grass will get red light. No, all 7 rays come to them. Okay, a poor child in Somalia and the richest person in maybe some, say, Seattle will get equal sunlight when they go out, of course. When they see the sun, they will get equal sunlight. There is no difference. There is no discrimination. That is the power of pure love. It doesn't matter who is receiving it or at all receiving it or not. It doesn't matter. It is unconditionally give it to everybody. And that is the power already all of us have. It is not something, it is exclusive few spiritual masters have and rest don't have. They have to beg from them. No. All of us, we have it. Only thing we didn't connect to that source. That's it. So what I'm telling you today, I'm teaching you how to connect it. That's all. You have it. You have the full reservoir of pure love because you are made of that. I need not to construct anything new. Only I'm aware that you are made of that. You may not be aware. That is the only difference, nothing else. There is no question that it is exists or doesn't exist. It definitely exists. Okay. All right. So now let me so now let me come back to the few more points. Let me see what I'm let me few more points I like to discuss about how you operate. Few of the good advices from many masters, they say that how we can be in a self-love, because in the path of this comparison comes. I'm not good enough, something like that. In this case, the masters say that don't compare with yourself with others. Even what others say about you, it doesn't matter. Because what is the truth? Truth is you are walking your unique path. It cannot be comparable with anybody else. So respect your uniqueness. Not the best, I'm the best, I'm the top. Doesn't matter. If you go on the top, one time you will fall. Okay. So doesn't matter about the external position. You follow your unique path. Appreciate what you have. Okay. If something you don't have in your life, you understand that it is chosen by your soul's plan not to have it, to undergo certain experience. Not everybody get the similar experience and things like that. To experience something, you need to undergo that. Okay. Sometimes you have to experience the value of food, say. So you need to work for it, earn money, and to buy food, and cook it and serve it to you and your family. So this experience you have chosen. If everything is in front of you, you will not enjoy food, and neither you give value of the food. There is also a story I just remembering. One of the Saudi sheikh's, son, he has been told that there are a lot of people could not eat in the, sub-Saharan Africa and many countries they cannot eat. So the first thing he asked you, why? They don't have a food court or a hypermarket nearby. So look at that. His idea, the people cannot have food because they don't have hypermarket nearby. Supermarket or hypermarket to just go and eat there. So that is his concept of why some people in the world, they don't. So what I am saying is that to get that experience and value of food, we have chosen to a certain way. Food, I'm just giving example. Everything else, if every small stones or pebbles on the road are made of gold, the value of gold will go. Who will care what is the value of gold? Is available everywhere. You go out and pick up a stone, it's made of gold. Okay, to make it precious, it is intentionally make it rare. Hard to have it. Or you have to spend some kind of energy to get it. That's why it didn't make it precious. And paradoxically, most precious things what we need are free, like air and sunlight. Air to breathe and sunlight where food comes. It is made of free. See, what is of highest importance that is made of free. Okay, nobody can control it. Anyway, so this is one understanding. It is so you say from where self-love come? I don't see myself and I'm very this and that. I'm not good in this, and it doesn't matter. You are still unique. Okay, your path is unique. Nobody else is there like you. So respect that uniqueness. You need not to be better and smaller than somebody else, because you are walking your unique path. It cannot be compared. Don't waste your time in comparing yourself. Just whatever path you have, enjoy it fully. That is the way. Okay. If we're walking in the, middle of a paddy field, enjoy that. You need not to be on the highway and the main street, best car in the world. No need. You enjoy what you have. That enjoyment is much, much better than stuck in a traffic on a most famous highway in the world. It doesn't matter. Enjoy what you have. And also this, it is our normal nature, best joy in the world is giving something to the world, to the humanity. Now I'm talking a little bit of spiritual. You, unless until you give something, it will not come to you. This also is a spiritual principle. So to get love, you need to give more love to the people. Remember, love means none of them you normally use. I'm not talking about that. Okay, be compassionate, be lovable. So more you give it to the world, more will come to you. It creates space. That's how it attracts from the universe. Or in other words, you cannot give something what you don't have. Okay, to have more love, you need to give love or express love. To express love, you need not to be somebody. You don't think if I express love, I'll be vulnerable. No. Okay. I'm not talking about that. It doesn't matter what other persons are doing. It's like a flower in the forest. There is no taker. Just it gives its own fragrance. No matter somebody takes it or, whatever it is. If the same flower comes in a busy street side in the city, most likely it will be destroyed. Somebody will come, pluck it, and throw it or destroy it. So don't think that your position is wrong. You don't need anybody to come to appreciate, or what you think appreciate, they will come and destroy it. Okay, do it just your own fragrance or your own glow. You don't need anybody else to appreciate and clap or give you a Nobel Prize for that. No need. It is important you saturate yourself 100% with love, so that every cell of your body will glow that. Anybody will come in contact, even if you don't say utter a single word, they will get into that. Energetically, everybody has got that. And that energy is, in energy level, there is no time and space. Okay, you can feel that. Even if, we are talking like that, you can feel that. There is no mean-mindedness or self-interest involved here. It's a pure love. We are operating from pure love. You can receive that from anyone who is operating from that. Okay. Also, I get another myth I just wanted to just address here before I go into our actual process. See, keeping your body healthy, and you feed with a good food and take nurture, keep it clean, do some physical exercise. It is necessary. Don't think again, no, I don't take care of my body because I'm serving others, and I don't bother what I'm eating, what I'm doing. I'm only for others. This is a foolish idea. Okay. This is exactly called beggar mentality. Don't deprive yourself. Punishing your body is not spiritual. I repeat, punishing your body is not spiritual. It's a foolish idea. In spirituality, we encourage you to take care of your body, physical body. That is the first level of, first dimension you have to take care. Physical, then again the logic, what you will tell to yourself when you take care of your body. You consider your physical body as a temple of your soul. where your soul consciousness operate in this world through your body, physical body. It is not to be neglected. Like we maintain a temple, no? Temple or mosque or church, we maintain them, no? Cleanliness, and see there is no noise and no, maintain some good light and fragrances, and also people come and enjoy that energy. So you need to maintain your body like that, like a place of worship. Don't neglect it and make it dirty or think that it is something to be less care of. No. Nowhere in the spirituality it is said that you have to punish your body. No, never. You have to respect your body, physical body, what you have. And then you have to make it clean. And then physical and mental level meant to be clean. That's what we practice during meditation, to clean the mental body so that thought doesn't come and clutter. So that we can get connected with the divine and then invoke our soul consciousness, and with that connection, the pure love enters into our body. Okay, now you understand the channel? If we can keep our physical body healthy, well taken, take good pranic food. Don't deprive. Take a good amount of food. A good amount means good quality of food, and then maintain your body, keep yourself clean. Mentally also, don't give clutter. Maintain your peace of mind. Have control over your thought. Through meditation it comes. And then you get connection. You get connected all the time. And that's how you connected to the reservoir of pure love. It's simply by your intention it comes. You need to struggle or apply for that and wait for 2 years to get it. No, it can come instantly like this. I will tell you some affirmations to help you, okay, which you can read. I have already posted into the group. So we'll do it together. I will tell you, this is a process you can do as many times you want to invoke it. But it will come to a certain stage where you don't need to, read it. You can already sit somewhere and you can, by intention, it will come to you. So, all right. So I think this is the teaching part. We'll go into the affirmations later on. Means after this. So far, if you have any question, you can just unmute and ask me question about that, whatever I have discussed so far. No question? All right.
Yeah, I have a question. Nirupam here.
Yes, Nirupam.
See, in the yoga, eightfold path is defined. That we have to follow some discipline, yama, niyama, and some strict discipline has to be followed. And I was under the impression before I came to your teaching of self-love that because I am not able to follow those things, so that is the ideal thing to be done. So you have to follow all the discipline and food and all the discipline. So then when I came to your teaching of self-love, that is totally different. I got liberated from those thoughts, and I started enjoying the things. Whatever I felt that I should not do it on this. I am doing wrong thing and all these things. I have tried to remove all those thoughts after I come to this your teaching of self-love. So, but this is slightly contradictory if you see traditional teachings of this thing. How we correlate these things?
Okay. This is exactly the reason my advice is don't read too many things. Okay, it will confuse you more. You see, I have told many times, nothing wrong with some Raja Yoga techniques or methods or reading Bhagavad Gita and all these things. But if it confuses you, better you avoid. You finish, it's like climbing a mountain. There are different ways to reach to the top of the mountain. I experienced that these kind of things, the texts or regular practices, they confused me more because they are contradictory at certain level. Normally, I give an example. Suppose somebody climbed a mountain So he faced, say, he said, I have passed through a 5-kilometer long pine forest. No, I have not. I have also climbed the mountain, but I didn't get a pine forest. Rather, I crossed a river. Then somebody said that I also climbed the mountain. I didn't get pine forest, neither a river, but I have a stiff rock. I have to rock climbing for a 200 meters. Then I reached to the peak. But I didn't get any of this forest or river. All three of them are right because they have chosen different sides to climb of the same mountain. So same here. So that, Ashtanga yoga, what we are talking about, there is a different method. So what I faced is to reach to the earliest, what my teachings are, just avoid that for the time being. If you reach to the top, no, by any means, any one method, that is more important. Stick to one method. When you reach to top of the mountain, then looking at the top, you can say, oh, that fellow has came from this way. This method came that way, and the other method came the other way. All methods will be clear to you. But when you are climbing, it will confuse you. Like, you still be walking and thinking, I didn't, that pine forest that fellow was telling has not come yet. It may never come. Okay, so this story I have given to understand, for the time being, you don't go into that what is the traditional method of doing this. Okay, park it for some time, finish it. Once you finish, then you will be able to understand all that. Okay, so this is you experience. That is more important. Then, because anything is written is somebody else's experience. That may or may not be applicable to you right now. Okay. So, Nirupam, you got that? Can you?
Yeah.
Hariom, can you mute your microphone for the time being? Hariom, yeah. Nirupam, so, yes.
I am coming to a very specific question. Let us say somebody has some weakness for a non-veg food or alcohol or something, some material desire, something that we feel that is not conducive for spiritual growth.
Yeah.
So in that case, how self-love, shall I indulge in self-love and get into it, or shall I try to stop it?
No, who is this somebody? Yourself or someone else?
No, I am talking about myself.
That's what I'm saying. So now, why I'm asking, I'm not, because if it is others, it's none of your business. Let them.
Itself, myself.
See, if it is yourself, you treat yourself well. There is no such rule. Okay, things will drop off on its own. That is the right time. You cannot force something out. Okay, even if the non-veg food is there or something is there, you can forcing them out and you feel spiritual. It is not possible. Basically, I'm saying simply not taking non-veg food does not make you spiritual. Your own vibration, higher vibration, make you spiritual. I wanted to make it very clear. You should be aiming at to raising your vibration, PVF. Okay. At certain point of PVF, you don't feel like having the non-veg food. That is the right way to get out of it. But if your vibration is a certain lower, all of us, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a one type of food. But what happens is your compassion level goes high and things like that. So it comes from within. Then you don't feel like having it. Same thing with other addictions like alcohol and all. Because I was also having some, some experiences, quite strong experiences with alcoholism. I have to work quite hard. So, but it is wrong to say I get rid of alcohol. It didn't happen that way. In case at a certain stage when the vibration go up at a certain level, the alcoholism is dropped off my system. I got a better things to enjoy than just manipulating my mind temporarily with some chemical, whether it's a drug or alcohol. What this chemical does, that it changes your brain cells for a certain time. So the physical reality will look different, feel different, but actual reality is not changing. You are changing, you're altering your mind to have a different version of reality, and you enjoy that. This kind of tricking your mind can work for certain time. But in a higher level of vibration, we are looking for the truth, not altering something. Not changing few cardboard pictures that you are in the big bungalow in Switzerland. Will not make it actually happen. Temporarily feel like you are in Switzerland. Okay, so that's what alcoholism does. So when you have to go with that, then ultimately at a certain level you will not enjoy this temporary thing. I was looking for something from my alcoholism experience, what will keep me continuously high. I will not get hangover and drop down from that. And in search of that, I got spirituality. Okay, which is never drops. All the time you're high. It doesn't matter all these things. Drinking few glasses and bottle even doesn't matter. Okay, anyway. So what I'm saying is, don't go to objectively something outside you is right or wrong. It is not what my experience I'm sharing. Food and drink is not at all a question. Question is, what is the level of vibration you are experiencing them? At a certain level, you get a better enjoyment, better things, and your life changes. That is the time these things automatically become irrelevant. It is not that you cannot have it. You have a choice. Still you have a choice. But you don't feel like having it. And that's come through your vibrations. So nothing wrong with the drink, nothing wrong who drinks. I don't judge. If 5 people are sitting there drinking, I can also join. They're not drinking, but I can join. I have no issues. Same as the food. If some container non-veg food is prepared, just clean it and prepare veg food for me. I will take it. I have no, this attached that if say this is a non-veg utensil, there's nothing called non-veg utensil. Okay. Something like that. So I'm clear from my, own level of my own perspective, you can say. But spirituality got into the truth, and then your life changes because of that. Not because of outside agency, and you didn't take non-veg for 2 years doesn't make you spiritual if your vibration has not gone up. Okay. Yes, Nirupam?
Okay.
No, okay means you didn't get your answer yet. Tell me. Yeah, we'll answer.
I got my answer. I experiencing what you were telling. I am experiencing that, and I can definitely tell that my material desire now I have something better to enjoy. That is happening to me also. Yeah.
Right. So there allow yourself time. It will not happen. We cannot jump a tree, at one go. We can keep on trying to go to the top of the tree. So allow yourself time. Okay, there is no hurry. But only thing is, make that you are progressing. Like more you are going towards that. If it reverses the direction, then it is a matter of concern. But if you are improving, as I was in the beginning, I was mentioning that if you are better than your yesterday, it is a good sign. And that's it. That we need to achieve. Okay. So that is the way forward. So that is what we say continuous sadhana. Okay. The spiritual practice, you will be there for sure. How long, etc., doesn't matter because you are walking your own unique path. Okay. All right. Okay, Hariom, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, Guruji. Now, when we are saying self-love, the love is originating from self, means your soul.
As such, yes.
In case of self-love, I think the self-S is bigger, not the normal self.
Correct.
That is what I understand now. But
correct. Absolutely right.
But actually, with the self-love, we are trying to improve our bodily state, probably from tamasic or rajasic to sattvic.
Yeah, that is correct.
Because if we are trying to eat non-veg and other things, that will only come once we are trying to become sattvic, raising the body level to that body to that consciousness.
Yeah.
That is finally probably the aim.
So all are linked with your vibration. That's what I was explaining to Nirupam. Okay. And to get something from where you connect to your own soul consciousness, because that source is infinite.
Okay. So when we say it is linked to our vibrations, means our body vibrations, which is composed of molecules and atoms, they are vibrating at a particular frequency.
Yeah. You have to refer to that previous. Yes.
Yes.
Answer is yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But it is not the cyclic motion of the atoms. It is a cellular vibrancy.
Cellular vibrancy. Okay. Now, Guruji, once we are operating from self-love and we are surrounded by our family members and the social environment, which is not in the self-love in consciousness, then how do we protect ourselves from being exploited by other people?
Just simply not come into the game of anybody else. Okay, you have to understand. You have to aware and alert and aware. Don't fall into the trap of somebody else's game, and neither bother what other people are talking about you. Simple detachment. It is all about between you, better version than you. That's all. And regarding this, we already discussed about how to deal with the other, interaction with other people. So basically, that we discussed with the ego versus self-respect.
Correct.
Okay, here we have said to improve ourselves, it is not a selfish. Try to disconnect. If there is some negative source, try to disconnect. And you have to operate such a way that your peace of mind is not lost. Your peace of mind is not lost. Okay. And you are not responsible for anybody else except yourself.
Correct.
Don't try to change somebody that you have to be spiritual and no need. Make sure they got the message. If they need, if they want, they will come. Otherwise, not. Because their life path is unique. They are undergoing their own soul's plan. Okay. So you are not responsible for somebody, neither you should be judgmental about somebody. If there is source of negativity, disconnect the negativity.
Well, generally, when we are operating in a social environment, we judge people either by considering them superior to us or inferior to us. That's a normal conditioning, which is even I have to get over it. Because whenever you see somebody, you always try to judge whether he is in above in social status and who should say good morning to whom first, because who is in the higher age group or something. So we always in a conditioning environment which has been continuing, which we need to get rid of. In fact, I need to get rid of.
See, here the ultimate trick, what I involved and I utilized it, and you can also try. I give an example of asylum. I think some echo is coming. Can you mute it for some time till I explain? Yeah. So you consider yourself, you are visiting an asylum. In the asylum, somebody came and shouted at you, or doing something, what you like or don't like doesn't matter, or somebody come and said, you are the king, you are a great, or somebody came and shouting, you are useless, you are a thief. You are in asylum. So you can understand from where they are coming. In this case, you will not get angry because they are mental patients. They need treatment. They need not to be challenged or fought with or fight with. So what will happen? You feel compassion. Okay. You can pray for them. Please take care of them because they are, out of mind. Okay. They need treatment to come back to the normal being again. this thing, what you experienced in the visiting asylum, same thing when in the practical world, if you come and extend it, is a bigger asylum in this external world, then your life become easy. You feel compassion. You don't judge people, you just feel that it is coming out from somebody because their awareness level has not gone up. Okay. So they are coming from the some awareness where they don't recognize and they're behaving that way.
Guruji, it is till the time somebody is praising me or anybody, we feel it is true. But the moment somebody starts criticizing, we feel ki no, this is not correct about me. So that
True.
mind conditioning has to be aligned for both situations actually.
Yeah. So it is same here. So where what you need to correct the the losing the coin business. Same thing. You just have to whatever all your experiences are inside you. So you have to correct that environment so that you can have a better experience of life. It is nothing about the outside thing. Okay, outside things have not lost the peace of mind. Peace of mind has lost within you. Okay.
Probably I need to create an affirmation that all these praise and this criticism is coming from mental asylum. This one particular affirmation, if I
Exactly.
keep repeating every
Yeah.
day, that will probably make things more stable.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to bless, you have to look for their betterment, pray for that, but you are not responsible for it. Okay. But you maintain your peace of mind. That is the only responsibility you have. Okay. It is called the state of equanimity. All the masters are operating from that level. They neither get, any some people can shouting and put it onto that, they don't, it doesn't touch them. Neither the praise also doesn't touch them. So anything, if something, the praise or better thing comes, they pass it on. They don't keep it. Okay, you might have seen that anytime somebody is saying that thank you for doing this, I said okay, grace to Babaji, because I don't keep it. If I keep it, I'll have an ego. I cannot own that even. Same thing with somebody is abusing. It is all, I don't keep it either. That is, again, there is another story I normally tell in this regard. Gautam Buddha was sitting with, his disciples, and one guy came and he was abusing Gautam Buddha. He was telling, you are a cheat, you are a fraud, you manipulate people for your self-interest, and because of you, a lot of people left their home and whatnot. They started shouting. And all his disciples, they got relatively restless and almost angry that now, because their guru is sitting, they cannot say anything, but they say, what is this? They're coming into that what is called ashram, or that place, and then he's sitting and this fellow is abusing to Gautam Buddha in front of everybody. Anyway, Gautam Buddha was smiling, and that fellow, after 15 minutes, after when he finished his all abuse, and he left. Then disciples are asking the Guruji, you didn't say anything to that guy. He is coming and unnecessarily shouting at you, blaming you for all sorts of things which is not true. And at least you should say, shut up. You will even say that. You have all the right to throw him out of this ashram. So Gautam Buddha said, okay, fine. Suppose he brings some gift for me, one box of gift. So, and he wanted to give me the gift. But I didn't receive the gift. So now who has the gift now? Who is holding the gift? Who is having the gift? Well, the person who brought the gift. He said, same here. He came and tried to abuse me. I didn't receive it. That's it. So means it belongs to the person who brought it. This is the way. It is not that something else will come and, from your state of mind. See, the master, Gautam Buddha, he has dealt with it perfectly. You need to energetically disconnect the person so that you don't get affected. That's it. Otherwise, they let them come. Maybe 10 more people will come and abuse. How does it matter? Okay. But it is also equally important. Somebody comes and praise you also. That time also you should be in the similar mode. Okay. That is called equanimity. It comes with the spiritual practices and the experiencing the truth. So that anything outside you doesn't matter. Both ways, positive and negative. Okay. All right, Hariom.
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. God bless you. All right. So, any question? Then we'll go to our next.
Yeah, Rajdeep, one question about that you mentioned about we have to give love to receive love, right? So I'm not worried about how others perceive it. So in the process, say for example, there is a boundary line between loving or praising someone and flattering, right? In early real life. So I don't know how, if I show love to somebody, I don't care about how they're receiving it. But if someone is showing love to, say, pure love to me, how do I differentiate that if that's not flattering or it's something which emanates from his pure love? Is this my frequency level?
Okay. Shoiva, it's a good question. So let me clarify. It is nothing to do with the giving and receiving love. That is a normal love, what we normally see in the practical world. I'm not talking about that.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay. What I am talking is, it is not giving, taking, receiving, or finding love. It is not about that. It is be love. Be. Your being. Like that's why I given the example of sun. There is nothing called sun is giving light to somebody. Sun should get something in return. How sun will recognize who is what to receive this light and all. Okay. In this kind of issues, bring sun into the picture. You will understand. You will get your answer. It is not a transactionary matter. It is not a give and take matter. It is only giving. Not even giving. It is being. Sun is holding light. It is not holding light just because somebody wants it or somebody doesn't want it. See, whole earth may be getting 0.01% of the sunlight what is emitting. How much is the surface area of earth? Many things goes into outer space and nobody may be receiving it. It's fine. But it is giving because it is nature. It has got an infinite potential to give love, light, and it is giving.
Right.
So we also operate like that. We have to be love. Because it is our true nature. We are bringing our true nature into it. And then rest of the people will get an essence of it. It doesn't matter what other people are receiving, not receiving, what they say, or they can manipulate me if I show the true self of mine and all. It doesn't matter. It is about what level you are operating that matters. Okay, not how people judge and all this kind of thing. It is not a transactional matter. In fact, you cannot transact pure love. Either you are in pure love or you are not. Like a sunlight. Sunlight is there or not there. Okay, it is not a transaction. Who receives this and then something bill to the sun. Payment to the sun. It's not possible.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Fine. So I think last point what we discussed is very, very important that I anyway wanted to discuss, but as the issue has come, so what is the ultimate thing? Ultimate to be love. Not to give love, not to receive love, not to distribute love. These are all transactionary words. It is good that Shoival has asked this question. So ultimately, your aim of self-love is to be love. Or you say, I am love, which you truly are. You are Prema Sarupa. manifestation of love. So you are love. Okay. Only you have to go to that core of your creation and express yourself from that. That is the highest level of being you can operate from. And we operate from in this world with that, connected with the ocean of love. And then you express yourself through heart chakra. You remember that I said that many masters, when all the chakras are open, there are a lot of chakras beyond the body also, physical body, not only 7. So energy becomes free flow. Like anywhere, energy go up and down, and then open the complete channel, establish full connection. Then the master decides where to stabilize that energy to operate in the external world, because you cannot be all the time into that spiritual world. You need to come down and work for the people, so help people and things like that. So as long as you operate in this world, so you have to come down. And that is the time you have to bring the energy back and stabilize any one of your chakras out of 7. Most of the master chooses to stabilize their energy at their heart chakra, and they operate from their heart chakra in this world with a full of love and compassion. Okay. They don't have any self-interest. They got much, much more than what even the wealth of the world can give. Okay. But at the same time, like a son, they wanted to give it to the world, to help others, to uplift others. It can be knowledge, it can be time, it can be, teaching something. It's a different things, but some way they benefit from it. That's all. Also, it is true that everybody else has got their free will and choice to receive it, not to receive it. It is up to them. Like a sunlight. 1 month I will be in the bunker, I will not come out. You will not get sunlight. It's fine. It's your free choice, free will. Okay, but it is available. If you wish to, you get it. Anyway, so this is the final understanding that so get into the self-love, we have to connect with our source, because we have been created out of pure love energy. When we connect to the source, we get into infinite love, and it comes from our higher self. That is the self-love, is the love of our higher self or inner guru. This love can guide us. In that, we can connect with our higher self. It transforms our life from loneliness to aloneness. There is a big difference. Okay, loneliness means you don't get anybody to talk to, anybody, you feel lonely. From there, you have to upgrade yourself to aloneness. Aloneness means you are with your higher self. You don't need anybody else outside you. That is the highest level of love. And this is called self-love. Love of your higher self or your inner guru, your inner guide. Moment by moment, it will you open that connection. And that is what, when the connection is fully established, you're operating from the love of your higher self, then it is called you are love. No further qualification, giving, taking, receiving is not needed. Just you are love. You are expressing yourself out of pure love. So this completes the learning session. Now I will go into the practice session, that how you invoke this this energy into your every cell of your body. So there is an affirmation I have already posted into the group. So I will just read that, and you can also read it. And when you commemorate, just I want to explain it. Exact wording, exact line by line, there is no need. Just once you read it, you got the essence of what is the type of message you need to do during affirmations. So you can develop your own, in your own language, in your whatever, what's better for you. So what I have posted, you can take it as for example. Okay, but every word need not to be copied for your own affirmations. You can develop on your own. But while reading it, you will understand that purpose of that. Then it will be clear to you. So in that sense. So, all right. So, so just sit straight. Keep recording on, because this is the part of the learning session. No? It is not a meditation session we have gone. So it is still the part of teaching. So keep it on. Okay. So I'll just, something is preparation. I have already posted the message in the group. So first you sit keeping your spinal cord straight, like normally you do for meditation or kriya. And take few deep and slow breaths to relax yourselves. Just breathe in and breathe out and relax yourself.